All right, it is 5:30 on February 27th, 2017. So I'll call the meeting of the Ayer Board of Health to order. Just one quick thing, Jane, when you do these minutes up, if you just make a notation that we did not have our meeting on the 13th.
Oh, you know what, can we just write it on that before we file it? Can we just handwrite it?
Well, I'm just saying, when you do the minutes, just make, excuse me, just make a notation. So if anybody's going through, not that I think they are, but say, well, where are the minutes?
Yeah, that's a good idea,
13th.
Mary, because when I go and, I keep a book of minutes, and then if I'm missing some.
Right, and
how come I'm missing these?
It was the day of the
storm.
Shoveling.
But, good thought.
Yeah. So, that is that. So we have nobody here from public input.
All by ourselves.
So now we should have the McNiff update.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
It's in the NABOH. So.
Oh, okay. One of the things, though, that I can tell you before we get to Bridget's stuff here is at the Selectmen's meeting last week. What I learned was that it will probably be another 2 weeks before they get all the buildings down. They did take the house down.
Yeah.
And then last Thursday, they took the great big barn that was near the road. Of course, there's still a lot of debris there.
Yeah.
And then there are all the little...
Yeah, it looks different every time you drive by.
And he anticipated that it would probably be another 2 weeks before they got everything cleaned up. So. Okay.
And they're taking down all of it.
Everything. Well, if you look at the back, you can see there's some way at the back of the property, low barns, little small ones there.
Yep.
Okay, so what we have here from, and this was January 25th, of course. So it says to the Ayer Board of Health and the Board of Selectmen. It was from Health Inspector Bridget Braley, and it was regarding 66 Westford Road. Modern Pest Control is the group that's doing it. Bridget Braley and Charlie Schultz, our building inspector, have been there practically constantly. So we had unsanitary conditions as a result of an infestation of rats, mice, and raccoons. Animal droppings were identified in several locations throughout the house. During the inspection, I noted that food items that were left in the home had been chewed or torn open by rodents. Severe damage to the ceiling walls throughout the house. This was noted on previous inspection reports. Damage appears to be more extensive, and active water leaks show evidence of mold and rotting. Drug paraphernalia was found in the living room, a crack pipe. The house is full of personal items, trash, debris that has been discarded in a manner that makes it very difficult to safely walk through the house. This debris inside the home will make it difficult to effectively treat the rodent infestation. The pellet stove that was once in the home used to heat the kitchen living room has been removed. The severity of the health issues that can result from biological contaminants, such as mold, viruses, and bacteria, found in rodent droppings and the dust from the debris that is currently piled in the home makes the residential structure unsafe to enter without appropriate personal protective gear. Anyone going into the home should take the proper precautions to ensure they are protected. When the property was first evaluated by Modern Pest Control in mid-December, the exterminators originally predicted that there were 200 to 300 rats on the property. Since the extermination process started on December 28th, over 515 rats have been caught and removed from the property, and there is an estimated 500 more that have died in burrows and under the pig barn and other areas throughout the 5-acre property. The severity of this infestation required that all debris, scrap metal be removed from the land between the house and the accessory structures because the rats were burrowing under the debris. Moving forward, the infestation of rats will need to be monitored closely to ensure that the population does not explode again. There are still areas that have not been treated inside the home and the barn adjacent to Westford Road. After talking to representatives from Modern Pest Control, a decision needs to be made regarding the structures that remain on the property. All of the debris inside this structures needs to be removed, or the structures need to be removed to fully eradicate the rats. The remaining vehicles that are still on the property will also need to be removed as they are providing shelter for the rats. So I know she wanted me to read this so that people that are listening are saying, you know, how dare they go in there and do this to the property? We don't take property lightly.
Right.
And this is the first time I ever remember since I've been in town that they've ever actually knocked a house down. And I know they have done it in other communities. I've seen this in the paper, but this was, you know, several trips to court and everything. He was allowed to go in there, the owner, and get whatever property he had, vehicles, etc. So that was important to get that done, I think. So, and it's certainly for anybody that has gone down there, it's a whole different ball game. Now, again, the town administrator said that it was his understanding that we could be talking close to a year before everything is finalized, because you know, people need to understand that this was a farm for a long time. Well, remember, years ago we did things on our property that we didn't know were detrimental to the environment, and there's so many different rules and regs now. So that would certainly require a 21E to clean up, but first of all they have to get all this done, and it has to be constantly tested, and I think our people have done an excellent job over there. So
it does seem to be. Do you know if there have been any complaints from residents up at the top of the hill about rodents maybe getting that way?
No,
that was a concern.
But no, I think that everybody has checked carefully, and I mean, they've been working over there. I thought a couple of times, I said, they're not going to be able to do anything because, you know, we had piles of snow, but by golly, they were over there. They've done a lot of work.
Well, I'm glad we went with the modern pest control instead of ye old colonial pest control. Because that could have taken a decade or more. So.
Oh, goodness. So that is that story on that. Then we have, okay, let's see. And this is dated, today, the 27th. And let's see, Nasoya plant, and this is from Ed Single, 48 Westford Road. And it says, Ms. Morris, I'm really sorry to bother you again, but the Nasoya plant is again emitting the obnoxious odor. Both yesterday evening, 2:24, and this morning and afternoon. The odor has been particularly bothersome. It's been on and off since I first contacted you, but yesterday and today were very obnoxious. I've noticed it during the week between 4:30 and 6:30. I hate to be, quote, one of those people constantly bothering town personnel, but after reading in the paper some time ago that Nasoya was being fined and making improvements to their procedures, I would like to see them continue to be held accountable. I've been here since 1988 and just put up with the situation since then. Always found it annoying, but learned to live with it. I appreciate your time and efforts to date, and thank you for any future efforts as well. And so Bridget follows up, and she said, I received the complaints. I followed up with DEP. I was out there on Friday and Saturday, and there was no odor detected when I was there. So, and then this is a timeline of when we've had other complaints from the same resident. Well, we know that this is not a company where there's ever not going to be some odor period of time, but I know the new process and everything, and I think they've been pretty responsive since we had that time when they seemed to, change heads every time you turned around. But I think it's been, don't you feel that way too, that they've been more responsive and trying their best?
I do feel like there's been a significant improvement, but it's such a hard thing to nail down.
It seems too, it's so random.
It's here and then it's gone. And
but would it wouldn't be on a weekend. Are they operating? Is it going full
Oh, they operate on
Do they?
a weekend. Oh, yeah, they do.
Yeah, that's a tough.
So then, let me see, and then there was the, let's see, poll. Well, this is a poll petition for Pheasant Circle. They already did that. That was National Grid doing some work.
Oh, to tie into an electric pole, you mean?
Yeah, that was for underground petition, National Grid, and it was for Pheasant Circle. Okay. And they did have a public hearing. Then this one, this was that zoning thing, and I had gone to it just to hear it. And it's for the property on Central Avenue where the blue houses are going to take down, and really, it has nothing to do with us. But this form is good because everybody,
Everyone knows about it.
Yes, and you can change and say, you know what, this isn't a Board of Health problem. It's not in our zone 2 or anything.
Yeah.
And then, and this is all part of that process. For that, that's that stuff. Let's keep this all together. And, this is just the food permit, and that was Chuck King because he has his food cart out there in the summertime. West Main Street. Okay, so we did that on Westford Road, where we had Epic. And it looked all right. Other than, excuse me, they had some broken tiles in one of the rooms and they're gonna be repaired, but there was nothing else. It was the yearly, for
Yeah.
Epic at Copeland Drive. And then this says, okay, this is from the planning board, and this was Kerry Curley, Littleton Road, Snake Hill, 8 lots, and she said on it, modifications needed. The plan does not specify if these lots are on town water and town sewer. And it was a A&R, approval not,
yeah,
so that's what she put on that.
Okay.
Wright Road, Joseph B. and Carrie L. McGowan, and submitted for review. She said the same thing, are these lots on town water and sewer? Then we had the one that was for, let me see here, variance. Oh, this has to be from Mark Sater, and this was the hearing. I sat right next to your husband.
Yes.
He happened to be here at that, and
Yeah.
they are asking, he's asking for a zoning variance for the parking.
Yeah.
So what she did put on this is any significant changes to the plan will require approval again from the Board of Health, because remember our plan.
That's right.
And for residents that are listening, this is in the Zone 2 of our Aquifer Protection District.
Yeah.
So somebody might say, well, why is the Board of Health approving a plan? We're not approving a plan. We're approving the rules and regs for our protection of our
Right.
Zone 2. And over the course of years here, I would say going back to the 60s, the town of Ayer has had more consultants in to look for other sources of water. And we paid a lot of money over the years, and basically where we have our water is Spectacle Pond
Yeah. Yeah.
and Grove Pond.
Yeah.
So it behooves us as a Board of Health to protect the public drinking water.
Right.
So that is why anybody that wants to do any work, because remember, this is our impervious surface we're talking about, more
Yeah.
buildings, what
Recharge plan.
exactly, and what the proponent wants to do on that property. It's 41 East Main Street. There's currently, it's a very unusual property because it's bordered on 3 streets.
Yes.
The front of the house looks at East Main Street, then you have
Yeah.
Pond Street, and you have Oak Street.
Yes.
It is a 3-family home there. For those of you that are trying to figure out, you're saying now, East Main Street, where is that? If I say the property with a gazebo, everybody says,
Yes.
oh,
Yeah, that's
yes,
right.
yes, I go
That's
by
right.
there, yeah. What
Yeah.
the proponent wants to do is take the 3-family home, make it into a 2, then build 2 2-unit condos, which will, after he clears the property, the sides of the condos will actually be facing East Main Street. The front of the condos will be in Pond Street.
Pond.
It's a long process. We had 2 nights of a public hearing. I was biting my tongue at the zoning meeting because they only had 4 members that night, so it meant that you need a 4/5 vote, so everybody that was there would have to vote the
Yeah.
same way.
Yeah.
And his architect kept saying, well, The Board of Health approved it. And like I said, I was kind of, so I want people to understand we did
Yeah.
not approve the plan. That's not our purview.
That's right.
We approved what modifications we insisted on in our zone 2.
Yeah.
Because they had a lot of concerns, they took a preliminary discussion and vote, and they weren't, when I say they, the zoning board was not going to grant it that night. So what that did is it gave him an option to withdraw the plan. So that's where that stands right now. So they've withdrawn that plan.
That's what I thought. It was
Yes.
withdrawn.
So had they voted that night and voted no,
Right.
then that would have been that.
Now, I happened to see, because Don brought it home, the plan that was available.
Correct.
And I noticed that that plan had a date of January 2017. So I don't know if they have different drawings that show different aspects of the plan that they're using for different purposes. But that kind of concerned me a little bit because, you know, the plan that we had made our determination based on was not dated January 2017.
Oh, no.
Right.
We
So-
had, when was ours, October? Was it?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think so,
Yeah.
because we had, it was either end of September into October, but, I mean, we had,
Our clerk will know.
well, we
I'm
had,
looking back where
what
we,
we had, I think, was, we were going round and round because we had the chairman of the planning board here, he wanted to comment, and he did. We had the DPW superintendent here, we had other people here. You board members
Yeah.
had a lot of things, a lot of questions, as you should have.
Yeah, yeah.
And finally, it was getting to the point where it was like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And what we did was we
is that
continued
what you had?
it for a second night.
Yes.
So
Yes, we did.
ours was very involved. And then you
Yeah.
have the 30-day period where anybody can comment, et cetera. Then it was
Yeah.
stamped. But that was with regards to in our zone 2 of our aquifer
Yeah.
protection. So,
Yep.
and he understood, and that's why Bridget put it here. If you make any
Yeah.
significant changes to
Yeah.
that, then
Yeah, and
It
I
has
didn't
to come
line up the
over again.
drawings to
Yeah.
see were there any changes
so
or
when
not,
he's going to
but
come back, I
that
don't
was
know.
interesting. Yeah,
I mean, we'll follow up on that.
yeah.
But anyway, that is commented to on here.
Okay. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
It was like October?
Yeah, that's
That's Jane found, yeah, October
Wow.
3rd.
Was that the second night or the first night?
That was the public,
Well, we had 2 nights of the
well,
public
we
hearing.
had 10-3.
Wow, could we have started?
9/26.
That's what I said. I said I
Yeah.
thought it was the end of September
The end
into
of
October.
September.
And it was 2 nights.
Revised plans to Jane this week,
Yeah,
9/26, and then the public hearing was 10-3.
yeah.
But that was the second night of it, of the
Yeah.
first night.
The first mention of it that I have is 9/26.
But do you remember how we continued it?
Yep, revised plans to Jane this week, no reimbursement yet for posting notice. Yeah, because we were posting the notice. And the fees, we were talking about 65 days from the application to the hearing, so that was the first night.
Yes, because remember when we talked about that, we didn't want the time to expire, so
Yeah.
Yes, because we
Yeah.
talked about the 60 days or something with the, wasn't that posted? Didn't it, after the first time it was revised, it was reposted?
No.
Am I not thinking?
no. When you
No.
continue a public hearing, that's the benefit of that. if you know, if you're going on like we were in the questions, and like I said, it was an hour and a half, and
Right.
Yeah.
nothing much was changed, and that's why I said, we're not getting anywhere, why don't
Yeah.
we continue this?
Yeah.
You continue it, you don't have to go through
Again.
any opposed,
Yeah.
because that's what it is, it's a continuation of that.
What you might be thinking of though is that when you post it, you have to post it 2
Okay.
consecutive weeks.
Weeks, so the notices, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll wait and see what happens
Yeah.
from that.
Yeah.
And this is all that. Oh, okay, and then the last thing they did, if you remember, a gentleman had purchased the building at 9 Main Street where New England Flatbread is.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
he purchased the whole building. So he came to the selectmen because he wanted to transfer the liquor license from New England Flatbread to him at 9 Main Street.
Yeah.
And he said that he has to do a lot of renovation in there.
Yeah.
He has to put a sprinkler system in. He's already talked to the fire department. He has to do a lot of renovation in there. He understands that he has to come to the Board of Health
Yeah.
because this is a whole new plan from
Yeah.
what the Flatbread. And so she did indicate on this that he will need to apply for the Board of Health. They asked him when he was going to be open, and he said he's going to push for by the end of June or hopefully early July. It's
Nice.
going to be Japanese and sushi.
Yes.
So, so
I
that
think that's
was-
great.
yeah, well, something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So that is all that stuff from.
Did they not have to do sprinklers when it was O'Hanlon's?
You know-
Did it somehow get grandfathered from
You know,
police?
I don't remember because it's been back so long. And again,
Yeah.
it could have been part of. Now we have new rules and.
Yeah, I guess that's, yeah.
And I know he has to do this because I thought, gee, they made a lot of changes in there with the flatbread.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
different because now he's got to take out those big ovens that were there and yeah. So
Right, yeah,
that's quite a bit.
yeah,
That's an old kitchen.
yeah. Yep.
But again, at least he's going to do it right. And the good thing about that is that he bought the whole building, so he does have the rent from the apartments
Right.
upstairs. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like you buying
That's
a
true.
place and saying, oh my God, I have to hurry up and get this done. I've got
Yeah.
a mortgage to
Yeah,
pay.
that's
So
true.
it seems like he's going to be doing a lot of work in there. So that's good.
Yeah, that's nice, and it is nice to see something new.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have anything from 38 East Main Street, Jane.
No.
And I don't know.
I just gave you that thing, I pulled it out, I thought, well, maybe I filed it. But I found that letter from August, and that's what I have. August 15th, I think, or 19th.
Was it in with Bridget's stuff?
If it's not there, it will be in with the correspondence, maybe. But I thought it was in with
Yeah,
Bridget's stuff.
because-
And you know what, it'll be in the back of the folder, because I put things in chronological order, so it'll be the very last thing.
That is the one that's the apartment.
And I didn't have it to begin with, and I think, I don't know, but I've asked her for it, but I missed her today, so by the time I got in, she wasn't around.
Yeah, I had talked to her just briefly, and she said, I've got to make sure all this information is together, she said, and on that 38 East Main Street, that was the one with the lead and
Oh,
whatever,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
on the-
Yeah.
But I don't see anything here.
Yeah.
Well, it's possible that it's in the correspondence file. But it'll be in the very last piece. And it's dated, I think, August 15th or something. Or maybe it's October 15th.
This is, I thought I had already signed these, the last.
Well, no, that's a different one.
No, this is,
Blue one?
yeah.
Yeah. No, I had it, but she hadn't gone out to inspect, and you'll notice that there's a condition on it.
9 Hens. And this is the one where we had, this is at 192A Littleton Road.
Yeah.
And Brent Ruthier gave permission.
There was another one too. There were
Yeah.
two, so.
He drew the picture. Why anybody would want to have it there, I don't know. I saw this all before.
You know, I may have shown you the thing because I had to send him a letter. A follow-up letter. So you may have seen the.
I saw all this. I saw the letter from
Yeah.
Brent and
Yeah,
I
you
saw
saw it all,
his,
but he didn't have a permit.
So there's a condition on the,
The condition is, I believe, that,
because
he
it's in a
continued
trailer
to
park.
work,
It's
yeah.
very
He continued to
unusual.
work with our animal inspector
Compost area.
to make sure that the animals are caged properly. She had some reservations about the caging.
okay.
Feed will be stored inside the house.
Does he already have? They've already moved in?
They have.
They're roosting.
Yeah,
They're
they're roosting, yeah.
They'd come back to roost.
Yes.
I don't see any conditions in there.
Give me the thing, right on the, I think right on the
Right on the top?
permit. I might be wrong. Maybe it's in the letter.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but has she gone out there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
Well,
gone out there, and she will continue to work with him.
Well, I don't know what more there is to,
There's nothing more. You
I
just-
mean, you got all the permission from them.
Yeah.
Why anybody would want them in a trailer
Yeah.
park, but that's,
Yeah. But it sounds like she's got concerns about how
The
he's
way
doing
he had them
the
penned,
housing.
see, they were
Yeah.
free ranging before, and we don't allow free ranging.
Yeah.
no, we don't.
So he built a pen, and then she wasn't delighted with it, the setup.
Okay.
So that's what we decided to do, and he has agreed to.
Okay, then he'll just
Yeah.
keep working with Bruce.
Yeah.
No.
But he has corralled them, which is
Okay.
better than what they were.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, see, they do have septic down there. In a leach field.
Oh.
Mhm. That's an unusual lot that, remember we talked about it before and you said,
It's the
"Hey,
one
I thought that was in Littleton.
I
I
cannot
did
figure
too.
out how that is in air.
It's
I
not.
just
It's
can't.
there's the sign and then like,
That lot
Quarter
is,
of a mile.
where they are, is in air.
that's so bizarre.
I know it
The
is.
zoning.
It has to be how the property line runs.
Yeah, it might be
between
one of
there and
these
Littleton.
things. It has a
Yeah.
little nub of land that comes out.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was going by the sign.
Me too.
On the road.
Me too.
and, yeah, this is like a quarter mile.
Yeah,
from,
we have to look at we'd have to look at a map
Yeah.
of Massachusetts
Yeah.
and
It's
see how
because
it.
I remember when we had some kind of a complaint down there once, and I don't remember the whole thing. But I said, well, why are they doing it to us?
Yeah.
That's got to be in Littleton. And then
Right.
we checked it. It was
Yeah.
a crazy sort of
Yeah,
thing.
Well, I assume he knows where he pays his taxes, so
right,
he's got,
yeah.
that would settle it.
So that is all the stuff from Bridget. And
So is 38 East Main vacant at this point? Or are there,
no, yes, yes.
okay,
Oh, yeah.
there are no tenants?
No, they
in
couldn't
there at
be.
this point,
So
okay.
it's 38, and that 41 is the gazebo, so 38 would be,
38
That's right.
is
Couple of-
across
Yeah, a couple of
And
buildings down from the
one
library.
house towards town.
okay.
Because, across from it, there's that big house, and then there's the old Shady Glade.
Yep,
Okay, so it's not the house next to the Shady Glade, it's the next one,
okay, okay.
I think it's,
which is now a law office, I think, the Shady Glade.
Yes,
I'm trying to think if it might be 3, 4 apartments in there. Looks like it
Looks
could
like
be.
it's at least 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
Yeah.
might be 4.
yeah,
Okay, so, but that's a lead abatement.
yeah. Well, I think there were 2 or 3 things in there that she found, but
Yeah.
the important thing was
Yeah,
Well,
that.
the letter that's in the file, that, maybe it's in, I put it in a mail file.
I'll get there.
Okay, yeah. It does lay out all the stuff chapter and verse.
And
I
that
remember
wasn't
looking at the
the-
inspection report, yeah.
That was the one where she had had some complaints from the
Yeah.
tenant, and
Yeah.
then a lot of things went, and
Yeah.
when it's let, then it becomes a state thing. Okay. So I'm hoping that you ladies are looking at the minutes.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, minutes looked okay. Yeah, minutes looked
I know you had found one thing that
No, I just
just made a
I
correction.
just
That's fine. That's
wanted
what you're
to
supposed to
rule
do.
on the, I don't know, where I had said that were recently found at Moore Airfield, but then I had a discussion with Jane and she said that it had been more recent, and it might have been,
But I took that out. 'cause
yeah.
you were
Well,
uneasy
the word
about it.
recent, because this has been an
Yeah, yeah.
ongoing thing.
Yes,
So that
it
was-
has.
yes.
Yeah.
So,
Because it was my understanding from previous discussions that that had recently been those whatever it was,
PCs,
Yeah,
yeah,
was,
yeah, yeah.
were a recent development,
Right, I think
but,
it was when because that was my second RAB meeting, there wasn't an in-depth discussion
yeah.
at the first meeting
Yeah.
about the airfield.
That's been around for a long time. The thing that was new at that November RAD meeting was the PFC showing up in the water.
Right, and
Yeah,
then
it's-
the other thing that they mentioned at the one that I went to was the areas below the hill there where the Nashua is. That I
Yeah.
hadn't heard of before, so when I said
Okay.
recent,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I was talking about the PFC.
That's
Yes,
being
okay,
recent,
yes,
so-
yes.
But she was unsure about that, so I just took that
Yes,
out.
so
Yeah.
we just, that one word.
No, that's the right thing to do, because
Okay.
it's not reasonable.
No.
Okay, so,
But I thought they just found the fire, whatever the new stuff was. I thought that was a recent discovery.
No, it's new that it showed up in the water.
Okay,
Mhm.
so anyway, we took,
Yeah,
I took it.
and that was it.
So, they look good to me. If
Mhm.
you've had a chance to look at them,
Mhm.
I would move that we accept the minutes rather, of the January 23rd meeting.
I second.
okay, it was moved and seconded to approve the minutes of January 23rd. No further discussion. All in favor say aye.
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 And there you go.
Okay. All right, so.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
That's all right.
Just one very quick thing while we were kind of talking about Devon's. I received in the mail, it was dated February 16th, something from Komen Government Solutions, which, as they say there, the consulting company assisting the Army Corps of Engineers to kind of do the monitoring for land use controls. And she was asking the question, so she sent a nice map that's easy to read of the affected area, and asked the question, in 2016, do you have any knowledge of newly installed private wells, any type such as domestic drinking water, irrigation, etc., or any new construction projects within the Shepley's Hill landfill, LUC? So, I responded, she sent me a reminder email today, and said that she had heard back from the, building inspector and DPW that there have been no new construction activities. She's heard from the SHOBA that they did not permit any new wells. So I just responded saying Ayer Board of Health has not issued any permits for wells. Our moratorium remains in effect.
Yes.
So this should probably all go to the keeper of such things.
Great, I saw that.
Yeah, I CC'd you on the
Yes, and I
email, but that's
appreciate that, yeah.
that's what it was all about.
Yeah,
I was going to bring that up at the
No,
last
that's
meeting, but
fine,
then
Yeah,
you could just respond because
Yeah.
she said it needed to be in today. So
So we'll try to do this fairly quickly. I don't know that we can, but Tricia, I think it was after the November election, and you asked a very good question about the new ballot question, the marijuana, and you said, are we going to have a bylaw, or are there going to be so many licenses? And I thought that was a very good question. How is it going to be done? All we knew right after the election was that originally the new marijuana law was supposed to go into effect in January of 2018. And the state legislature said no, they couldn't have everything ready, so it would go into effect July 1st, 2018. However, and I did bring this up twice at a selectmen's meeting, because I said, if we need a bylaw, that does not give us much time. So there has been something about this in the press, and it was very interesting to read this, because when we did the medical marijuana, that was the Department of Public Health.
Right.
This new law comes under the treasurer.
Oh, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
does.
liquor.
It comes under the treasurer.
Okay.
She gets to appoint 3 people to her Cannabis Control Board.
Okay.
Then the state of Massachusetts is also, because we do like big boards and committees, we're going to have a 15-member advisory board approved by the governor. What, in fact, it was in the Herald today, what she first has to do is she has to, it's called Seed to Sales Computer Tracking Software.
Okay.
So she's put out the RFP for that,
Okay.
and as soon as she gets that back, she'll award that. The thing with the new cannabis laws is that anyone growing it has to prove that this was grown in Massachusetts and where it came from. And I know that you like light reading, so I got you each of this because,
Wonderful.
and you start on
Okay.
page 12, and you will find all the explanations for it and
yeah.
all the stuff going forward.
Okay.
Now, when I brought it up at the selectmen's meeting, they said that they had spoken to someone, I think Carly knew, the town administrator in Ashland, and they were going to take a moratorium for a year, and the Board of Health and the Planning Board were working on regulations. Now, something, and Selectman Hillman had brought it up, when the medical marijuana came into effect, if you remember, and we had the, we had the one application here in Ayer, and he went through the whole process. We never defined any district. Now, the town of Westford, certainly bigger than us, more spread out, what they did is they came up with a bylaw. So it was a marijuana overlay district, and I think they did a couple of areas in town. So that would cover them in this. That would mean that if you were going to grow this, you've got your several areas in town that's an overlay district.
Yep.
So I don't know if that's what the town of Ayer wants to do, but if you remember, several people that wanted to grow it came to the Board of Selectmen's meeting, some of them for way out of state, and they wanted letters to say you don't oppose it, etc. And the selectmen really didn't get involved in that,
Yeah.
but we
Yeah,
do
I
not
remember that.
have any place in town, so
So we have nothing that restricts it. We have nothing for or against.
we have nothing.
We just have none.
So I don't know if we want to get involved in this. Medical marijuana came under the Department of Public Health,
Different, yeah.
but this is a different. But again, unless you have some area, conceivably, if we had a plot of land on Main Street and somebody owned it, they could grow marijuana there.
I see. So the question then becomes,
You'll find reading that
define, we
interesting.
want to define a district where it can be.
I know the proponents of it are not going to stand for too much because they are already upset to hear that, we have ballot questions and then the legislature makes changes and then sometime we go back 2 years later and then we got another ballot question because of whatever changes they made, and they're upset about this. There's quite a bit of tax that goes on it, and the local board could choose to put, the town could choose to
That's
put
what
more
I
of a
thought.
local tax on
I
that.
thought that the towns
Yes.
have the opportunity.
They do.
So there's different permits. There's different, because they come under different jurisdiction, one's Department of
Well-
Health and that, but it's talking about here the exemptions of the sale, medical marijuana treatment versus,
But see, medical marijuana was different.
yes, that's what I'm saying. But the reason I asked that question originally, because I thought about, you have to have so many licenses in Ayer for like liquor stores.
Liquor, right, it was a good question.
Yeah, but I didn't
Yeah.
even think, Mary, when you said if it's like a blanket kind of thing where it's legal now, someone could have quite
Yeah.
a sizable, but I think I'll have to read this more before I go ahead
it's
and think.
very,
I think
I read
that
it and then I said,
for personal consumption, I'm sure you're not gonna have fields and fields of it if you have
I
a big
think that-
backyard, yeah.
I think that individuals are restricted
To a certain amount.
number. Of
oh, that's,
Right.
that is that. I'm more concerned with the growing of it and the retail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we could do a limited number of retail outlet licenses, like
I think
liquor
there's
licenses.
like I said, there is a procedure for that. It's very involved. You know those
I see.
ballot questions. Sometimes you read
Yeah,
them
yeah.
and you think, oh yeah, I agree with that. Then when you read it the second time, you say, oh, that isn't how I understood it. Sometimes you think yes, when actually you want to vote no.
I know.
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
it has
So-
that,
yeah, the way it
It's
is.
so
Yeah,
wordy
yeah.
and confused.
And then
we
you
go.
can really tax it
oh,
differently
yes.
because the town can tax it, and then
City or
there's this,
town
yeah,
says can impose a separate tax of
Right.
up to 2%.
right there.
I see.
Yeah.
Then again, retailer will pay a local sales tax. That's a different, as the
So
sales
it's
tax due to
very-
the Commonwealth.
It's very involved.
That is interesting.
So
Mhm.
I said, the two ladies, I know you didn't save your ballot question
No,
thing.
mm-mm.
And
No.
I went to the clerk and I said, no, you've got some extra ones.
This was
In
a
there.
really good idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a very
Because
good
like I
idea.
said, it's very,
Yeah,
it's
this is
difficult.
some.
and I'm
not so
sure
light
there's
reading.
going to be a lot going on.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
do think it would behoove the town to have some type of district, and to wait and say, well, I think I'll see what, the town of Ashland does in a year and stuff. And in the Herald today, they said something about, the legislature's going to have some rules in place by June, and I thought, well, it might be by June, but I doubt it'll be this June, but,
Well, what does make sense to me is, kind of like the liquor licensing.
Yes.
Because this is something that, you have to be a certain age and.
Absolutely. You
so
have to
there's
be
some ID
21.
requirements. I wouldn't be too worried about people, indiscriminately doing large-scale growing on open plots, because
no.
I think what you'd really grow there is a lot of rope. I don't think you'd really get
No, no.
good. It's a
But
mostly
you
done
understand
indoors
the way
and
I was using that as
yeah.
by right, according to this, you could. So I think
Yes.
it would behoove us.
But I think there's two things to consider. One
Yes,
is
there
that
is.
the growing of it and kind of the manufacturing piece of
Mhm.
it. And then the other is the retail outlets, and should they be licensed or? And then this is interesting, this example, because this is yet a third aspect of it, and that's the public consumption of.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. This came from,
The state, I just went on to mass.gov,
okay,
and I got it
Okay.
off the mass.gov site.
okay. So this is like an example of
it's,
what, yeah.
I didn't, those didn't come through with a citation, but I put a citation, let's see, I'll tell you exactly where I got it.
So it's like a public drinking kind of, you
Yeah,
get a
sample local
citation for it.
bylaw.
Yeah, so,
And this comes from Executive Office of Public Safety and Security. And it says, provides a model bylaw that towns may choose to adopt.
Executive Office of who?
Here.
Public?
This, after I sent it to you, when I was printing it out, I said, this is,
Safety.
there's no citation, so,
mhm.
Do I have that?
yeah, I gave it,
This
I
one?
mailed it to you.
It's in my big packet?
Yeah.
I love the researcher in you, Jane.
I know.
Getting your citations.
I know. Here, Mary, you can have this, but it's in the envelope I sent you. on Thursday.
Oh, you have it. Okay.
You know what's interesting about this issue is that it's, on the one hand, kind of a public, like you say, public intoxication.
Right.
You can't be drunk in public. The other aspect of it, if you're smoking it, is a little like the, public smoking and smoking
Right.
cigarettes. And then it's funny because the two kind of converge in that same area of vaping, because you can vape either.
Right.
So
Right.
This
This
is-
is going to be interesting.
it is really interesting because even this sample bylaw, I notice, is smoke ingest or otherwise use or consume. So if you're doing edibles or oils, how in the world would somebody know?
I know.
Because they still don't have the test to,
And
test you like,
Oh,
like
they
a drunk
do.
driving
Of
stuff.
course they do.
They do?
Well, what's all they test for marijuana use all the time.
No, but it's not like
It's not-
roadside
not like a
test. It's
field
not like a
sobriety
breathalyzer.
test.
Yeah, right. They don't
It's
have
blood, right?
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
blood, like
it's
a
a-
blood alcohol, it would be a THC.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Or
Yeah.
hair. The
Yeah.
hair can
But there's
tell you
nothing
your
that can be
time.
done immediately by the side of the
Right.
road.
There's no
You could pull
roadside.
somebody
Well,
over.
I'm sure that
Yeah.
if there's a call for it, they'll come up with it.
They
Oh, I
have-
Yeah.
they
bet
have
you there's a
come
lot
up
of
with
companies
everything. Yeah.
working
Yeah.
like crazy on
You know,
that.
they
So-
might not have something commercially available.
Review
to
that and
Yeah.
think back and.
I think it's a really interesting question. And I was at a client of mine a short time ago, and we were talking about this new law. And one of the guys said, if I'm out on my deck with my kids having a barbecue, and my neighbor is on the other side of his fence, and he lights up a reefer, he goes, I'm going to go over there and deck him.
Why?
Because he doesn't want this
Exposure to,
noxious
yes.
weed,
But
coming
it's
over to his
somebody's
children.
own property.
But
Right.
I know, and it's going to be interesting because then,
It's not contained like a
Yeah.
alcoholic beverage.
does the wafting of that smoke?
Right.
I mean, my backyard neighbors smoke too, and I'm not crazy about it, but
Yeah.
it's their yard. I can't tell them
I'm-
not to
I'm
smoke
not-
cigarettes in their own yard.
I don't see that as the biggest thing. I see more things with the retail.
I think there's going to be
How
all
many you're
kinds
gonna
of
have.
gonna be
So,
interesting,
Well,
different, yeah.
you know, read it and
Yeah.
at the next meeting,
Yeah.
decide what you want to,
Did you look by any chance, Jane? Is there anything on the MAHB?
No, but I can look it up.
Because they might
Yeah.
have
The
something.
what in?
MAHB, that Mass Association of Health Boards.
Oh, okay.
Because
Sure.
they a lot of times will do,
I'm sure
You know,
they have
sample-
something.
sample regulations or sample
Yeah.
bylaws, or
Yeah.
they do a lot of it for smoking. So
Right.
I'm guessing that they might might have something for
Yeah.
this.
Right.
For next time, I'll pull that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The heck, we're a member, we, as well use it.
Info.
Do you have any idea, Mary, what the selectmen are they thinking of?
No, as I said, I brought it up twice. That's specifically what I said to
Yeah.
the town administrator and the Board of Selectmen chair. He said, well, you know, we can wait and see what others do. And I said, well, excuse me, but if we're going to do a bylaw,
I know.
it takes
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And if all these laws go into effect by July 1st of 2018, it doesn't give us very much time to
Yeah.
do a bylaw, have a public hearing, and get it approved. It'd have to be approved by town meeting. And we certainly don't have time to put it through for May's town
No,
meeting. So
no.
you're looking at the fall, and it's
Yeah.
very hard in the summertime to get stuff done because naturally people are away on vacation, etc.
Yeah.
So if
yeah.
you did if you came up with a bylaw, it would be with other boards, not,
No, it'd be a town bylaw.
it would be a town
Yeah.
bylaw, so there would be zoning involved and
It's a-
all that,
it's a
yes.
bylaw.
Yeah.
It's a bylaw.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's kind of select, the, kind of.
If you have a bylaw to control it or to have a district,
Yeah,
like an overlay district,
Yeah.
that has to be town meeting approval. But
yeah.
again, hello, you
Yeah.
know?
Business licenses, I
mean,
don't know what that process would.
Well, see, that's another part of it
Or
too, that
taxation.
retail and the taxation.
How do you figure
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
It seems, in here what they're saying, it sounds like it's individual, a town or city.
Can
Yeah.
Have
further
their
tax
own,
it.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're paying a lot of tax already.
Yeah, they are.
But many cities and towns are thinking,
Yeah.
well, we'll do our own.
Well, I mean, it's fairly limited what the town can add. It's only up to 2%.
Yeah, it says a city or town may adopt ordinances and bylaws that impose reasonable safeguards on the operation of establishments.
Yeah.
So you can limit the number of establishments, govern
Makes
the
sense.
time, place, and manner of the establishment operation.
This is going to be good reading.
Limit the number of retailers.
Yeah.
I find these kind of, ooh, this is new. We've
Never
before
had to-
stuff really interesting.
Who knew?
Yeah, who
Who
knew?
knew 30 years ago we'd be even discussing this?
Oh, boy.
I mean, it's always been, people have always, I know a lot of people have always wanted this, but it's going to be interesting to see how it's going to be implemented.
I know once things kind of got rolling on several social issues, I was very surprised at how fast
Me
they
too.
happened.
Yeah,
Just kind of hit a critical mass.
Yeah.
So would our assignment on that, Mary, be to do our reading homework and
Get
come back
back
with
and,
some thoughts maybe next?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Because like I said, time goes by very fast.
Yeah.
The summertime is not time to,
Right. Right.
we'll see what she comes up with her three-person board and getting the computer tracking stuff, but that's
Yeah.
pretty fairly defined.
It is, and the medicinal places have to have that as well. So that doesn't seem like it's going to be a really tricky thing to figure out. Maybe it's just choosing what software they want to use.
And again, I'm not picking on Westford, but I'm just saying that they came up with a couple of overlay districts.
Yeah.
They have a lot more land certainly than we do, and they have places
Yeah.
where they can grow it. But I think that was smart of them to do it, because now that kind of covers this as far as, okay, these are the areas in town you can grow it. The important thing to remember on this is you have to grow this in Massachusetts. You
Yeah.
cannot do it
Right.
out. So,
And then you have to test it.
yep,
It has
Yeah.
to be tested. You know, you can get mold or fungus on any of these plants that can be
Yeah.
detrimental.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that actually is another interesting thing that I wonder if, like the NAHB sees boards of health getting involved in, maybe verifying that once a year that they've, done their testing or,
Right. So they're gonna have to come up with a way to test for certain things, and there's gonna be a lot of them.
Yeah, yeah, and set, limits for what's acceptable
Yeah.
and what's not. But that does seem like kind of a health thing, that, checking for molds and funguses and.
I just know someone that had stage 4 cancer and went to a doctor and said, will this help me? This was
Yeah.
like 7 years ago.
Yeah,
And the doctor said, well, yeah, there's certain kinds that we can, prescribe for you. And he's like, oh, no, I'm good. I know some friends of mine that can help me out in that department. And he cautioned him and said,
yeah,
absolutely not, because it's not, you don't know if there's a mold, a fungus, a parasite,
Yeah,
anything in
right.
there that could,
yeah. And if you've had chemo or something,
Yeah,
and
and
you're
you're
already
weak.
immunocompromised,
Yeah,
you don't need that.
So there's a lot to that aspect
Yeah.
of it too.
Yeah, true.
so, okay,
Okay,
all right.
Wow.
interesting stuff.
So then, in the mail, we have, and this was a permit from the Public Works, and this is it's the Mass DEP, for the Wright Road cross-country water main. That's part of a capital project. Okay, and this was Carlene talking about rabbits, and that was, I think, the one she was worried about rabbits and
Yeah.
getting permits, but
Yeah.
most of the people that have them, we haven't had a problem with
Yeah,
really rabbits.
Well, we do have a situation right now where we have some people who have them, who are raising them commercially, or have a whole lot of them. So and our animal control, or whatever it is, bylaw,
Yeah.
our chicken permit thing,
yeah.
specifically excludes rabbits from.
Really?
Yeah,
Why would that be?
I don't know. I didn't write the bylaw or the regulation.
Is it a town bylaw or is it a
A
Board of Health
regu- the-
regulation?
Our animal regulations for keeping animals in fowl specifically exclude rabbits.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Who is breeding rabbits?
I don't know, but Carlene said there are some people who are.
This is the first time I've heard of somebody breeding them and
Well,
selling them.
there are lots. This person has lots of rabbits.
Let's have some documentation from her.
That sounds to me like it's a farm.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this is a thing, and she talked to Michael Cahill of the
Yeah.
Department of Agriculture, and Mary's got what he said about it, that it does fall under a farm.
Right.
And so they need to be, dealt with as a farm.
Yeah.
But we
That
may
sounds
need to
reasonable
go
to
back.
me.
I didn't know if we needed to go back and revisit our regulations vis-a-vis rabbits, because they're specifically outlawed, and maybe we need to bring them under that.
Well, I'd like to have some specific information from
Okay.
her as to where.
Okay, out on Littleton Road.
I go down Littleton Road
I
sometimes.
know,
I don't know of any
Mm.
farm there.
I'll tell you later.
Yeah, well, anyway,
I'll
I-
correct it.
So this is from, he said, "Hi Colleen, thank you for your time on the phone today. I figured I would clarify in writing how I normally instruct animal inspectors regarding the inclusion of rabbits in the annual barn inspections. Rabbits are a borderline species. Just as we do not count dogs and cats, I do not need an accounting of any pet rabbits being kept by residents of Ayer. However, there are people within Massachusetts that are breeding and raising rabbits, some as pets, some for food, and some do both. I suggest this be the cutoff regarding those that will be counted in the barn book and those that will not. If someone just has 2 pet rabbits and a hutch on their property, I do not want them included. If someone is breeding rabbits, either as pets or for food, I would like them included." So get some information and bring that back.
I think that's a pretty reasonable distinction, because it seemed to me that the chicken regulation was kind of created to carve out a little space where you could have chickens, but you're not a farm just because you have chickens.
Right.
Right.
Makes sense.
Okay, and then we have something, and this was from January 25th. Went to the Board of Selectmen, a methanol release, 95 Fitchburg Road. And this is from Clean Harbors that went out to clean it up. Oil and hazardous material, blah, blah, blah. Tier 2.
Is this,
Splash Products, you know that Splash Products up on Fitchburg Road?
Oh,
Did they
okay.
make windshield
Oh,
wiper
yeah.
food
Yeah.
or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that
Got
was
it.
that. And
Yeah.
then this was this 38 East Main Street.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yes.
I
So
thought I
there
was
It
losing my
does
mind.
exist.
Yeah. But I know she was looking, and I thought she told me today, but she had a lot of stuff to go through. And then I didn't, when she didn't call me back, I certainly didn't bother her because I knew she had other stuff to do.
Yeah.
But I know that this says lead paint. I know there were a lot of things in there. Let's see. Owners of homes or apartments built before 1978 to have lead paint violations, blah, blah, blah. A private risk assessor has to do a risk assessment and give you a lead inspection risk assessment report before you can go ahead with interim control. So it was a whole letter on telling him what he had to do, all the things. You can check on the licenses by calling the State Department of Public Health Childhood Lead Poisoning Prevention Program before hiring an inspector. So there's all these things that she told him to do. She signed it, and Jim Gariffi also signed it too. And yeah, this is apartment 4, so it is. I thought it was a 4 apartment.
Yeah, okay. I could see that.
Yeah. So they had lead paint. I think there was several things that they had there too. So
I remember
that's-
her report had several things. It wasn't
Yes.
just the lead paint.
Yeah, yeah.
That seemed like the
Oh, there were.
lengthiest.
Yeah, there was windowsills and stuff in the
Yeah.
kitchen. Something upstairs and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's all that stuff.
Okay.
So I think we've gone through all this. I signed those things. That's in the Neshoba, so I think I'll.
And then you sign the bills.
I did. Oh,
Okay.
what bill?
There was a bill
Oh,
in there.
wait, maybe I missed it.
It's right on the top.
I might
We're
have.
just not used to having bills.
I
know.
know. I had to get a printer cartridge.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay, so this is for 3228.
High finance.
Okay.
just
I know.
never.
I'm glad I asked.
Oh, man. I know.
Here you go, through that file, and make sure you
No, I
sign everything.
signed, I saw the, that was the permit for animals. I signed that. I signed the time sheets.
Okay, there's three, I think, 3 times.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, just checking.
How
These
do
are
you get
important.
paid if they're not signed?
Oh, we're just, it's on our own recognizance, and then they have to get it signed at some point, but, they're trusting.
You have an arrangement.
There's an arrangement.
Okay, so I'll pass this around. You can sign it. And then I want to go over a few things with you. Probably tomorrow I'll come in
Okay.
On the report for the town report.
Oh, okay, I just drafted it and thought that it would be helpful, because that's coming right up.
I see that, and
So if you want to make some changes.
yeah, and
Oh,
it's
that's
easier to
fine.
just do it. I can just come in. I'll give you a call tomorrow
All right.
and come in because it is. And
And I might have screwed up the date for the public hearing, because I didn't remember that it was on 2 days, so I just.
yeah, well, and I want to make sure that we put his name in there too
Oh,
and
okay.
all that.
All right.
But I do want to tell the board that on that, remember I sat on that emergency planning team and we used to meet every couple
Yes.
of months, and I'm not going
I
to go
wondered if that was
anymore.
still,
Well, I'll
yeah.
tell you, I think we did a lot of work.
Uh-huh.
We had a good group. Gosh, we had I forget her name from the Animal Medical Center, because
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
if we had to, if we lost power, where do we put animals?
Yeah.
So she always came. We
Yeah.
had somebody
yeah.
from the schools. We had the facilities manager. We had a lot of people. We've got the basic work all
Yeah.
done up.
Yeah.
And now, and we used to we'd meet every 2 months. We'd
Yeah.
meet on the third Tuesday. But before we left the meeting, we'd take out our planners and
Yeah.
say, okay, is this good for everybody? But that whole focus seems to have changed, and I haven't even been notified at the last several meetings. And quite frankly, I don't object to be on any boards or committees, but all these other people are getting paid to be there. At least you could have the courtesy of notifying me that you're having a meeting.
Yeah.
And when I asked, I was really spoken to very rudely. So I just wanted to let you know that I'm not
Yeah.
going to attend those anymore. But like I said, they've changed a
Who,
lot.
is there someone that's like the coordinator or the?
Well, it always was the fire chief, because we met
Oh,
down
okay,
there.
okay,
We
okay.
meet, like I said, the
Okay.
third Tuesday of
Okay,
every
got it.
other month. But the
Yeah.
bulk of the work has been done. You know, we've
Yeah.
We've
getting
got
something
all the
set up.
planning, we've encouraged people to get generators, you know, the hospital, the
Yeah.
nursing home, we
Yeah.
did have that one blackout, remember, where they had it over to the middle school in Shirley where you could take people, but what they found out is that the bulk of the people don't want to leave and go out, they want to stay in their own house. I mean, I think some people worry about
Especially
being
if you
away
have
from
cats,
their-
you're not going.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
well, not only that, but what I found is a lot of older people don't want to leave their house. They're
Yeah.
worried about the fact that, oh my gosh, I leave here, anybody could come in.
Yeah, break-ins,
The main
yeah.
thing that you need is a list of people that are on oxygen at home or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
of people that
Yeah.
need somebody to go down. And I think that whole list is done.
Yeah.
So-
Doesn't the electric company have to keep some kind of a similar list? Because I believe as long as you register with them, they can't turn off your electricity if you have notified them that you are someone that has life-supporting equipment.
That could be, but
do
ours
that,
was
yeah.
more concerned with, okay, you have no power. Where are we going to put people? Remember?
Right, but I mean, as far
Yeah.
as knowing who, has
I don't
that
know, but
kind
did you
of
ever try to
equipment.
get a hold of them?
Oh, the electric company?
Yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You used to be able to 1-800-465-1212,
Do you call off?
But when you used to be able to call and they'd say, oh, okay,
Yeah.
do you have electricity in your house? No. Is there electricity outside in the pole? No. Do any of your neighbors have? No. And then they'd check and somebody would
Yeah.
come back and say
Yeah.
to you, you know what? There was an accident or, okay, it's out in your part of town, it's going to be 3
Yeah.
hours, and then you'll have your power back. But now everything is so automated that you get an automatic voice
I know.
that says so. I just assume, well, when it comes back on, it comes back on. And if it's nighttime, I have my Coleman lantern. When I thought we were going to
Yeah.
lose our electricity recently during one of those storms, I took my batteries out of the freezer and I let them thaw. I put them in my Coleman lantern, and I want you to know the batteries worked beautifully.
Thank goodness.
Hey,
Mary, you are so
How
sophisticated.
yes.
You just cracked me up. It's
What
like
about
you're ready
heat?
for anything.
Mary, what do you do about heat? What do you do?
you don't have heat.
I know. So I get worried about
Just gonna burn our
people that
newspapers.
they open their stoves.
Yeah.
They turn on their gas stoves and open.
Yeah.
Well, it's a problem, like where I live,
Yeah.
the old Pleasant Street School, because they have had to evacuate people and put them in the school, because they did lose electricity.
Yeah.
And they took everybody out. Now, this was before I lived there, and it was a trauma. So Wednesday night, we're going down to petition the CPC, and for a grant. We've applied for a grant to get a generator.
you
Because it's a real hardship.
You should
When
have a generator. yeah.
when the electricity goes off at 62 Pleasant Street, for example, the elevator doesn't run. And there are a lot of people,
Yes.
That's right.
there are a lot of people like up on the 4th floor
Oh,
who
my
are
God.
not able
Right.
to get out.
Yeah.
And, from time to time,
yeah.
we have 21 apartments there.
Yeah.
So from time to time, we have people who are very fragile and
Yeah.
on various types of
Yeah.
life support, and it is life or death whether there is electricity.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
I
a
know
worthy cause. Yeah.
when we had that big outage a few years ago, remember everybody
The
went
ice
out
storm?
to try and
Yeah.
get
the ice storm,
a generator
yeah.
because they were out. Some people were out for 2-3
Yeah.
days. Some were out more than that, and we're having. It seems like we've had a lot more power outages in the recent past than I
Yeah.
ever remember. Growing up, I don't remember a lot of these
I know.
outages. But it's, they've got, but again, generators have to be installed properly too and maintained and stuff like that. But
You're telling me. We purchased our generator last summer.
Did
Have
you?
we installed it? Have we
No.
done it? It's sitting out there in its box.
Oh, no.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's going to be mocking us the next
Yeah.
time electricity goes out.
Yeah.
Well, you laugh at me and my batteries, but
I didn't know
that about the freezer. I'm gonna have to do
Absolutely, I
that.
learned that a long time ago,
Keeps it
and
fresh.
somebody said, you put them in the freezer.
Yeah.
And you put, yeah, I put them in a plastic bag and I put them in the freezer.
Doesn't everybody keep their batteries in the freezer?
Well, I'll
I
tell you
confess I do
something.
not.
When they're predicting a storm and people run out and buy all the milk so that it can go bad in their refrigerator because they lose their power,
Yeah.
they also go out to buy batteries
Right.
for
Yeah.
radios and stuff like this, and there's usually no batteries. So I got some a while ago and I put them in the freezer. So when I did think that we were going to lose our power recently when we had
Yeah.
all that win,
Yeah.
I said, oh, like, geez, the batteries have been in there for 3 years. They're probably no good. Oh, they were perfect.
Wow.
I never
They
knew
were
that.
perfect.
Yeah.
That long,
I
huh?
used to do
Yeah.
that because I
a good
was
one.
a
Absolutely.
photographer, so I kept them.
Ah, that is a
Yeah,
good
so
trick.
like I said, I took them out
Good
and let
to
them
know.
warm up.
Yeah.
Got my Coleman lantern out and put them in
All
and
set,
turned it on, and I said, yes.
That's awesome.
prepared.
Yeah. And the lantern, I bought 2 of them, and the lantern is such, you can turn it different levels, of light.
Yeah.
So actually,
Yeah.
you could read by it,
Right.
Yeah.
if you lost your power. But anyway, that's my thing, too modern thing. That's, you put your batteries in the
Okay.
freezer. So, okay, we've looked at everything. Do you have some things that you want for the next meeting?
I think it sounds reasonable to look at this info on the marijuana rigs
We'll just-
and maybe start to toss around some ideas.
Yeah,
of-
so let's do,
What we think
we'll
we can
have
do.
a basic update on everything. So this will be basic, except we will add that continued discussion on this, because
Yep.
if we do need to do something,
Yeah.
we shouldn't let it, I wouldn't want us to be caught in the middle to have, oh my gosh, the legislature actually did something quick on this.
I know.
This
I
so-
know.
Don't worry.
I have a feeling it's gonna be done piecemeal.
I think so too.
It's gonna be like, we're gonna get this done, and this is
Yeah.
a rig, and then they're gonna go, oh, but with that rig, this comes up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so now we're gonna do
Well,
that and
if
that
you-
and
I think
that.
it's gonna drag out.
Read the news and keep up on things. We are going to get hit with a lot of new taxes this year.
From the state?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, golly, yes. Yes, they're feeling good about that. It's ridiculous.
That's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you want businesses to stay here.
Mhm.
And but you've got to be reasonable. All this, I kind of liked Ronald Reagan's when he said government is the problem. That with all these regulations, they're looking at a mileage tax, and you drive your car. None of your business how far I
Oh,
drive
yeah.
my car.
Mileage tax?
Yeah.
Don't we already have that with the gas tax?
This is different. You have to, look at how can we get more money in that we can blow. You got to think of it that way. Hey, they found, 18 million for new raises for themselves. So,
I know.
that was-
Yeah,
so they're
yeah.
looking at different ways of taxing that. They're looking at taxes on soda and candy.
I did hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a
Yeah.
whole
It's like a wellness
bunch of
kind of
things.
Well,
thing.
they've been
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about that.
Oh, but they
for a
filed
long
it this time.
Yeah, that's been
They
getting
filed
jacked.
some of this.
Just like
You
the
know.
tobacco kept getting jacked up, the taxes on that. Anything that has to do with wellness, they're
Yeah.
gonna tax.
Yeah,
You know,
the
we-
sin tax.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to, at some point,
I know.
back off on this stuff.
Mm.
Well, remember they did the tax on the medical devices, and it took us doing citizens petitions and,
Yeah.
and calling the legislature to, I mean, we want medical device companies to stay in Massachusetts. And they had the, what was it, 2.5% or 3% sales tax
Yeah.
that we had. It took 2 years to get it repealed.
Yeah,
So,
medical device companies
yes.
were doing a lot of lobbying
Yes.
on that too.
Yes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. So we'll put the marijuana, but anything else, I don't think we're having a Neshoba Board of Health. I think it'll probably be March when we have something,
Okay.
and I don't expect that they will have done anything on that OPEB stuff. That's another thing, if you're reading what it's going to be costing communities because of unfunded pension liabilities and all that stuff. It's
Yeah.
in the news constantly.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's,
I've got a question.
yes.
You know, in my correspondence, I had a letter, I sent out a second notice on these chickens.
Yes.
So, I guess the next step will be to send Carlene over to knock on the door and say,
You've sent 2 letters out already.
Yeah.
That is, these are
Okay.
adults, way too much. As far as I'm concerned, send her over.
okay. I
Yeah.
just wanted to get some direction on how I should.
Absolutely. I think sometime we're a small community. We try to be good to everybody,
Yeah.
and I think people take advantage at some point.
Yeah.
You send them a letter, and then they don't respond, and then you
Yep.
send them a second one. We're not going
They
to
have to
do
do their
that
part, too.
anymore. Yes.
All right, well, I'll
Yeah.
send her over.
This is chickens, but no.
Yeah,
Are
well,
these
she's
unlicensed chickens or
illegal chickens.
illegal chickens?
Yes.
But they've had them,
Can't help
though.
it.
She's
Yeah.
had chickens. They've had chickens before up there.
Jonathan, but not these people. And she went by for another thing and saw that these people had chickens.
Well.
You sure we haven't had them before, or she
Yeah.
just happened to see them? Well, we've caught others by that
Yeah.
too, and
Right.
uh,
But no, these are new people. These are
Okay.
new people.
all right.
Yeah. They seem to be. I mean, unless, I'm issuing permits and
No, but
I
we've
don't
had
know the right
we've
name.
had
I mean, it's possible, but I
we've
don't.
had people before that tried to get around it. You know, when somebody goes by or a neighbor
I know,
complains
I know.
and
Yeah.
says they've got this or that, and then you send them a letter, and they, I absolutely do not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Everybody else has to license their chickens.
Absolutely.
So these people.
Yeah.
What does our chicken regulation, fowl regulation, I should call it, say about enforcement?
That's like $100 a day.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. It's
But-
rather steep. Too much of chickens.
No,
They go in the pot.
what
Yeah.
number on Jonathan Drive?
I think it is a 12. Let me see. 12, Jonathan.
And the name again?
Lantini or Lantini?
Lantine.
Is it Lantane?
Lantine.
Lantane.
Yeah.
Lantini. At least now I know how to pronounce it.
Well, I know.
I only know because it's Shirley Lantane. So.
I know we've had some problems up on Jonathan Drive
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. Well, this was just, Carlene was going around doing her thing and
Yeah.
happened to stumble across them, so.
And that's how we got others, because
Yep. And,
Yeah.
the old driving by and stumbling across something and saying,
yeah, what are these goats doing?
Okay, so I think we're set.
Yep.
And I'll give you a call tomorrow
Okay.
morning, Jane, and we'll just go over and get this done,
All right.
and you'll all,
Yeah, because I think, is it by the 3rd
Friday.
or something? Friday,
Friday,
yeah.
yeah.
I saw that and I said, yikes, that came up quick. I
Well, you know, every other year it seems like we get a notice in January to start working on your reports, you know, and
Yeah.
to send it out and it, oh, by the way, they're due next week. It's like,
Well, we've been talking about it.
well, we
Yeah.
have, but we
Yeah.
didn't get anything, and of course, then that, we didn't have, you know, we might have brought it up at our meeting on the 13th,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
Well, it's the first time, there have been things, but they haven't had it. Well, maybe there haven't, because there hasn't been a date certain as to when they were due.
and they
Yeah,
haven't
I
even
mean,
mentioned it
yeah.
at the Board of Selectmen meeting
Okay.
either.
Okay, so I'm just wondering if I would have put them in, but we were talking about doing this.
We've been
and then all of a
talking about
sudden, it's the 3rd, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Must-
Yeah.
So I sat down and kind of did a cursory review, but I'll bring the minutes down and we can go through and see. if
Well,
there's
I'll bring in too what we've done here. We should be able to do 10 or 15 minutes and just
yeah,
have it all done.
yeah. Then you can take it into Robert if you want, or do you just want to send it? down?
Well, we'll get it done up and then
Okay.
just,
Give it to him.
yeah,
Okay.
it should be all right.
All right.
Because we're still working on water and sewer rates. We've got to have a public hearing for that. There's a lot going on, and
Yeah.
it seems as though, I don't know, every year I think, geez, why are we so late? We seem to be doing everything, and then people say, why didn't you do this public hearing earlier? And we didn't miss that many days that we haven't
Yeah.
seen with snow or anything, but we're really, there's,
Yeah, things snowball.
they do snowball, and we've got an awful lot of capital stuff there, and we've got a lot
Yeah.
on water and sewer rates, and
I think it's the beginning of the new year, and you kind of want to take that.
no, it just,
Wrap
I
them
don't
in.
know, it just seems a lot this year.
Yeah.
Well, I think things are just, overall getting more and more complex, and there's just more and
That's
more
true.
things.
Yeah, I would
Just,
agree with that.
there's just this proliferation of concerns.
Yeah. Society is getting more complicated.
Yeah.
Well, and you always, like I was saying when we were talking about replacement of Spec Pond Well number 2, I said to the DPW superintendent, I'm so sick of hearing about this well, because, and I'm not blaming anyone, but we first brought it forward in probably 2003, and then it was, you come up with a plan, and then Mass DEP held the plan for 2 years. Well, by then, you've got some new regulations.
Yeah,
Now you're
yeah.
gonna go back to the drawing board. I said, just promise me that this year, 14 years
Yeah.
probably after we first
Jeez.
started it, that we will get that new well done. Because it's a
Amazing.
replacement of
Yeah.
the old
Yeah.
one, you know?
Yeah.
As I said, we've spent a lot of money, and
Yeah.
we've done the Grove Pond, as you know, and the third well there. There
Yeah.
aren't any more places for us in town to have wells.
Right, yeah.
So, it's an expensive thing,
Yeah, it is.
along with all these other projects we're doing with wastewater, and everybody wants a garage to put their
Yeah.
vehicles in, and I said,
Yeah.
hey, we're paying the bills,
Yeah, I know.
and there's just so much you can do. I don't know, I said I don't have one of those big government pensions where I'm getting $10,000 a month or something. So, you know, you got to think about everybody in a town. You cannot think of, oh, okay, these young people, they got big salaries, they can afford this and they want everything, they want it done yesterday. We're a small community. We should be for everyone, everybody's
Have
walk
to
of
be.
life.
Yeah, you have to
can,
be.
yeah.
We're
Yeah.
very diverse town too, which
Yes.
I love. about
Yes,
here.
yes,
And
absolutely.
You know, you're right.
So that's everything we'll do in, we'll have
Gives us
you
a little something to
ladies.
think about.
Yeah, and you've got your marching orders with all that,
We have our homework.
yeah, homework,
Yes,
so.
we do.
So if that is all, I thought it would be a fairly quick meeting, of course it wasn't, but,
Yeah.
well, I think we had a lot to
Yeah.
go over
Yeah.
too, so if it's 7:10, if there's
And I will
nothing
make a
else.
motion that
All right, and
I second it.
All right,
Second.
it was moved and seconded to adjourn, all in favor say aye.
I